The purpose of this training video is to demonstrate the process of enrolling a fingerprint ID for a biometric clock. The fingerprint ID enrollment process is easy and only takes a couple of minutes. Typically, this process will only need to be done once per employee. If you own more than one FlexClock Z-Series clock, the fingerprint ID enrollment will automatically be copied to all of your other FlexClock Z-Series clocks. The timekeeping server stores a backup copy of the fingerprint ID template file, and they will automatically be restored if you ever replace or clear the memory of your clock in error. It is important to know the clock does not store an employee's fingerprint. Rather, it simply records a serial number template that represents a mapping of the employee's print in order to maintain their privacy. Please be aware that your FlexClock Z-Series will not automatically exchange fingerprint ID templates with other model series of clocks, such as the FlexClock VX series or the TimeClock 330-380 print reader. As a result, if you have multiple models of biometric clocks assigned to your account, the employee's fingerprint will need to be enrolled separately for each clock type in order for the server to store their fingerprint ID. The first step is to access the enrollment menu. The enrollment menu can be accessed by pressing the 3 on the keypad from the main date-time screen. The default password for the manager menu is 1234, and this is where you can also create a unique password. We strongly recommend that you change this password immediately to avoid any unauthorized changes to the setup. For example, if employees can delete their own fingerprint enrollments, then they can bypass the fingerprint check entirely, reintroducing the risk of buddy punching. The second step is enrolling fingerprint IDs. To enroll a fingerprint ID, press the number 1 key from the enrollment menu. First, you'll be asked to enter the PIN number for the employee. This is the same number used to identify the employee on the timekeeping website, which is located in the employee setup screen as logins, numbers, or card number 1 login ID. Then, the employee will be asked to touch the fingerprint sensor a total of 4 times, 3 to capture the enrollment, and once more for verification. Please note, this login must be numeric only. If it is not, then you will need to create another login ID in order for the employee to be enrolled with a fingerprint ID. The employee setup page will allow you to create more than one login ID per employee, so you do not have to delete the current login ID to add a numeric one. This completes the process for enrolling a fingerprint ID for a biometric clock. Here are a few frequently asked questions you can share regarding biometric punching. Number 1. Does an employee have to use both their fingerprint and a PIN number to clock in or out? No, the default setting will require both, but you can change this option to require a fingerprint only. This may be done by pressing the 3 key to access the manager's menu. Then enter the manager's password and press the OK key. Now press the 8 key to access a hidden menu option, which is where you will disable the PIN, or the default option. Select 1 for the fingerprint only option, or 0 to require both a PIN and fingerprint to punch in and out. Press OK to accept the change, then escape to exit out of the menu. Number 2. Does the biometric clock save employee fingerprints? No. Rather, it uses a process called mapping in order to create a number representing the employee's print. This alternative process better ensures the privacy and protection of employee prints. Number 3. How exactly does the mapping process work? The mapping of a fingerprint is simply a process of measuring the geometry of the fingerprint's peaks and valleys. It assigns a number to each unique point, which creates a map of the fingerprint, not to be confused with an actual copy of the print. Once the mapping is created, the clock assigns a unique number and stores the number to identify the employee's fingerprint geometry, or peaks and valleys, of the lines in their fingerprint. Number 4. Are the fingerprints stored in the system somewhere? No. Once a fingerprint is mapped, the system will assign a unique number to the employee. Their fingerprint is never stored in the system. Number 5. Can the fingerprint mapping be used to recreate someone's fingerprint? No, the fingerprint mapping cannot be used to recreate an employee's fingerprint. The sole purpose of mapping the fingerprint is for the system to assign a unique number based on distinct lines or peaks and valleys of a fingerprint. Thank you for viewing the How to Enroll a Fingerprint training video. You are now ready to start enrolling fingerprints. If you have any questions with this process, please contact your timekeeping service provider.